Here goes the first command. Here goes the second command. I'll time it and for node 01. There you go. Oh, hello, fellow nerds. Are you ready to get your Kubernetes cluster ready with 2 commands? Well, actually, there are a lot of commands which you have to run, a bunch of stuff which you have to do to get your Kubernetes cluster up and running. So, but what I have really done is to put all those things together in 2 Ansible playbooks. So let's get on with it. I have put all those things, requirements and the installation steps in my GitHub account. And let's go to the GitHub account. Let me also make my window a little bit, my camera window a little bit smaller. Okay, so now this URL contains, as you can see, there are 2 Ansible playbooks, one to install the master and another to install nodes. So, and along with that, it's got some local file directory, and that directory contains a bunch of files which will be required for this Kubernetes installation, for this Ansible playbook to run. So all that is really automated through Ansible. Now, just to be clear, what this Ansible playbook works on is on a Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7.x. I think my systems are at 7.8. So the prerequisite is that you gotta have a Red Hat Linux. I'm pretty sure if you tweak these Ansible playbooks a little bit, and you might be able to actually use it for any of the Linux flavors. But there are a couple of things which are really specific to Red Hat. So I'm going to say this is going to run as is on a Red Hat Enterprise Linux server. Installation has an additional add-on, really additional add-on, which is called MetalLB. Now MetalLB, as you can see here, it's a separate project, which is a wonderful project. Okay, if you don't know about it, I would strongly encourage for you to go and read about MetalLB. It's really meant to enhance Kubernetes to be run on an on-premise bare metal system where you don't have cloud services providing you the load balancer. So MetalLB basically means bare metal load balancer. So the prerequisites, other than what I've already explained, that it needs to be a Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7.x, and you gotta have an Ansible setup where you are able to run super user commands on your servers through Ansible. So for example, I've just given this an example command. It can be any, really. This is just an example command where you can run on your master and a node servers to see whether you are able to run super user commands onto your master and node servers. So my master looks okay. And now let's try to run the same thing on node 01. Looks okay. Now that setup is a prerequisite for this thing to work. Now, since that works, in the second part, it says that you gotta, since it is RHEL, means Red Hat Enterprise Linux, you must be subscribed to Red Hat so that you are able to run your yum packages, install yum packages and yum update and all that. Now, let's go to the install instructions. So it says the step 1 is to, since as I explained that this is not a plain Kubernetes cluster installation, it is also going to add that MetalLB function to it. So for MetalLB load balancer setup, I'm going to be using that load balancer IP address for my application pods. So in order to do that, I must specify the free range of IP addresses which my cluster will be assigning to those application pods. So this is the place you need to put that range of IP address which you want your application pods to get when you do spin them up. Okay, so let's look at those first. Okay, so this is just a placeholder, IP range I put in there, but this needs to be from the range or from the subnet where your master and the nodes are sitting on. So for example, if I look at my master server, this is the subnet which my master is sitting on. So these IP range needs to be from the same subnet. So in my case, I'm going to use about 20 IPs. So let's see, 160, for example. So all of 140 to 160, which is not 20, it's 21. Or is it 20? I think it's 21. Okay, so this is the range I will be using for my for assigning all the IP addresses to my application pods. So that's the first step, okay? And the second step is to just run those playbooks, and that's about it. But in my setup, let's first have a look at, let's open up the playbook, okay? Let's first open the master playbook, and if you see here, right on top here, it says to disable the firewall. Now, most of the Red Hat Linux systems which you would have in your setup would come with firewall, but in my case, my systems don't have a firewall. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to disable this part of the playbook, okay, so that I don't have to deal with that error. And I'll do the same thing for my node installation playbook, because my nodes and masters both don't have any firewalls. But if you do, which is most likely you will have it, so you don't have to do anything. You just go through and run these two commands. So anyway, let's get on to it. So as I said, you just need to run these two commands. Okay, so the first command is, I'm going to time it. First command is to run the Cube master playbook, and this is going to go on the master server. So my master server is master master, and that's where it's going to. Here goes the first command. Now this is going to take about 10 minutes to run. So I'm going to pause the video here so that we can come back once it's almost finished. But yes, one of the things I do like to do is to run a tail -f on my master and node servers so that I know what's going on while I am installing, while this playbook is running. It just gives me a little better insight as to what's going on. So I think I'm going to run this command on all three systems, even though we're not really doing anything on the node 01 and node 02 as yet. We do want to make sure that that the master is first installed completely, and then we're going to go on to installing node 01 and then node 02 sequentially. Okay. Looks like it's all done, and it took about 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Now let's do the same thing on the nodes. So first we gotta do the same thing with the node 01. Let's go and look at the command here. I'll just copy paste the same thing. Since my node 01 server first node is named as node 01, I can just copy paste verbatim. And you guys please make sure are using the right server name there. Okay, so we'll do the same thing, and I'm going to time it so that we know how long it took for the node installation. Remember, when this master playbook got executed, it will create one additional file. Okay, let's just go back. Control C. And let's look at the local files directory again. You'll see there is something has been added there, which is called the join command. Now, this join command was a result of running the master playbook. This is just for your information. You don't really have to do anything again. So when now you're going to run this Ansible playbook for the node, then that Ansible playbook is going to use this join command to join the cluster. So all that happens automatically is just for your information. So here goes the second command. There goes the second command. I'll time it and for node 01. There you go. And now this is probably not going to take 10 minutes. It's probably going to take 6 to 7 minutes. We'll see. So let me pause the video here and let's see how long it's going to take. Okay, looks like it is finished. It took about 6 minutes and 41 seconds. So that's about it, really. So you have a one node cluster now all ready. Now let's go to the master server and look, get nodes. You'll see the node 01 is still getting ready. As you can see, the messages file is still completing that installation. In a few seconds, it should be coming online. There you go. And both systems are ready. Now, since I have a node 01 and node 02, all I really need to do is to run the exact same command one more time on node 2, and I'll have a 2-node cluster in no time, So with one node cluster, it took about 10 minutes plus 6 minutes, which is about 16 minutes. You add another 6 minutes there, and you're done within about less than 25 minutes. So that's a quick way to get your Red Hat, your Kubernetes cluster ready on a Red Hat Enterprise Linux server on-premise with MetalLB. Okay, and in the next video, maybe I can show you how very quickly you can start deploying your pods, your applications on this cluster. Now, what we'll do is we're just going to go to one of any random app. We'll pick one Docker container from the Docker Hub, and from the Docker Hub we'll get any one application. We'll pick that container and we'll create a pod out of it in the next video. And I'll show you how easy it is to use MetalLB with this and how to deploy that application with no time. Okay, well, that's about it for today. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.